Hey guys, so I'm coming to you. It's been kind of a crazy week. It has been very hot here. As I've told you before, it's a lot hotter than I'm used to where we used to live. And so I was doing a lot of indoor things at the beginning of the week. And then it was starting to cool off on Wednesday. And I thought, awesome, I'm going to get outside and be able to kind of finish some of the things that I've been starting. And after about an hour outside, Emily called me in the house and she was having chest pains, like a squeezing type of chest pain that was radiating into her back, and she could not get comfortable. And of course, when you feel chest pains, you think heart attack. So rather than sit around and do nothing about it or wait and see if it got worse or got better, I kind of learned my lesson with that, last year with my whole aneurysm incident. So we decided to just get in the car. Noah was at school, so we didn't have to worry about that. Got in the car and went to the emergency room. And after being there for half the day, they had done, they did EKG, they did a chest x-ray for clotting issues, and then they did some kind of a blood test that tells them heart oxygen levels. So fortunately, all of those came back fine. And they couldn't really tell us what it was. Maybe stress, anxiety. I don't know. But she's doing much better today. This is 2 days later. So we're hoping that's just all it was. But last couple days I have been able to do some work in the vegetable garden. I wanted to update you on the terracing of the main vegetable garden, and then I wanted to take you over to the temporary vegetable garden and show you how I've set that up. It's already ready to be planted, and I'll go through the steps that I took to get it there. I'm going with a very traditional no-dig method over there, so if any of you guys are familiar with Charles Dowding, I'm doing exactly what he's doing, tailored just a little bit towards our drier climate. Obviously, England is going to be a lot wetter than Southern California. So let's head over to what will be the Mediterranean vegetable garden by next spring, at least. So here we are right now. And if you guys are new, this was basically just a sloping hill from the house all the way down to that fence. And so in order to grow anything successfully here, I was going to have to make terraces. And so if I come down here, you'll be able to see a little bit more of what I've done. This terrace is 26 by 15, so 26 feet wide, the same as the house, and then 15 feet out from where you can see right there that it's kind of dug down, 15 feet out from there. And there's going to be another 15 by 26 terrace right here in this area, and then a little bit smaller one down next to that. In one of my last videos, I was complaining about how difficult this was with the rototiller to try to dig this out and terrace it, and kind of coming to you saying, I really can't do this by myself. I'm going to need to get some kind of earth moving equipment. And I got a lot of great responses from you with different ideas. Someone even, actually a longtime loyal viewer, offered their tractor, and they don't live too far away, so I may just take her up on that. But this is still going to be difficult to try and cut these hills down and bring the soil out and build it up enough to build a wall and then have that be the terrace. That's typically how you would do it. Now, when I was doing all this work, I was really trying to think of if there was a better way. And inspiration struck when I looked over at what I call our parking lot patio. It's this huge patio that was put in by the previous owners, and it is enormous. And if you look back in the Google satellite imagery of this property, it was actually just a long slope down toward the road. So the same thing was done. Well, I can't see around here where they pulled off too much soil or where they dug out soil and brought it up here. So they actually brought in soil or filler, who knows what's under here, in order to fill this up, because in some places out here, this retaining wall is 6 feet high. And so this was a lot of soil that they had to bring in. And so I kind of thought, well, what if I built the retaining wall first and then brought in the compost? And if you saw my compost delivery the other day, you know that I got 10 cubic yards of compost for 30 bucks. plus delivery, which was not very much. I started thinking about it, and then I had several of you in the comments on that video say, why don't you build the retaining wall, and because you got such cheap compost, fill it up with that. So I thought, okay, there's probably something to that. So I think what I'm gonna do is actually use the rototiller to soften up the ground where the footer, because I'm gonna be using cinder block, and you need a footing for the cinder block to sit on, a stable, level, concrete footing with rebar. And so I'm going to dig the trenches and make sure everything's level for the cinder block walls, and go ahead and get started on those, and then fill them with that great compost. And because I am putting probably some raised beds on top of the terrace, I won't just be planting right directly in the ground. I do care what kind of soil is underneath there. And so if it may be overkill to fill the entire terrace with compost, but ultimately, even on annual vegetables, some roots can go down 3, 4, 5 feet, maybe even further. Now those are like very fine roots that you probably never even see, but they're still going down there and getting nutrients. So instead of bringing in trash soil that I don't even know where it came from, fill the entire thing with good organic compost, like that pile right there. And it's probably cheaper than fill dirt. I've never bought fill dirt before, but you know, if you're looking for really good topsoil, I don't think you're gonna get it for 10 cubic yards for 30 bucks. So that's the plan there. Now let's go over to the temporary vegetable garden that is over here on the other side of our parking lot patio. This isn't really a parking lot. I've had several of you say that in the comments. No, this is a patio. It's just as big as a parking lot. So over the last couple days, I have put in 3 terraces and started the no-dig method. So for the no-dig method, I wanted to start on level ground, so I did need to terrace this. It was pretty easy to do. The next thing I did was, and this is optional, we do have gophers here. I've seen the hills all over the place, and so I put down some galvanized chicken wire. Now this isn't gopher wire, this is galvanized chicken wire. Gopher wire is galvanized. I'm not sure what the differences are. I've never had gophers before, and I've never used it. But this just has to hold up for 1 season, and so I'm pretty sure the chicken wire will do the job. Time will tell. So I laid that down first. And then over that, I put some cardboard. We have plenty of cardboard from our move. Take all the staples, the tape, anything like that off. It needs to be brown cardboard, nothing with a paper printed ink, anything like that. And you want to make sure that, you know, where the cardboard has the cracks, where the lid and stuff is, you want to make sure those are all overlapping, because the cardboard is there to keep the weeds from growing through. And so if you have those cracks, they're going to find any crack. So make sure they're overlapped. You can be, you know, a couple layers thick. It's not going to hurt anything. And over the first season, that cardboard will start breaking down. It will be good food for the worms, which I haven't had any worms. I haven't found any worms in all the digging I've done. So we really need to bring worms and soil life back to this soil. So the cardboard's going to do all of those things. It's also going to soften up, and the roots will be able to go right through it. Once I had all of the cardboard down and I thoroughly soaked it, it was time to bring in the compost. And the compost, like I said, I got it, it's mushroom compost, and I put about a 6-inch layer down over the cardboard, raked it flat, and then stepped on it to kind of press it down, firm it up a little bit. This does not compact it. It's good compost, so it's not going to compact the soil. And then I thoroughly soaked it as well to make sure it was soaked all the way through, to take out all the empty space and to kind of meld it with the cardboard. So there was kind of no space between them. It just kind of all packed down together. So that's where we are right now. This week, I'm going to be getting some, I would typically wait until my seedlings are ready. They're just germinated. I'll be doing that on a video on the other channel, our Next Level Gardening channel, this coming week. What to do once your seeds are germinated, how to take care of them, fertilization, that type of thing. But because I have to have some pictures taken for the book of how to do this, I'm gonna get some transplants from the garden center and get myself started so I can get the pictures done and get an early harvest. And then I can fill in around those with my seedlings, and that will just kind of give me a continual harvest. Now, while that terraced area, that temporary vegetable garden, is working for me over there throughout the winter, over here on this side with the big terraces, again, I will be building them, and as I build them, I will be putting down cover crops to help to build up the soil. However, I may not have to do so much cover cropping if I'm filling them with compost. So stick around, that remains to be seen. In any event, if you have vegetable garden space that you're not going to be growing in throughout the winter, a cover crop is a great idea. So make sure you're subscribed to my Next Level Gardening channel, because tomorrow's video is going to be all about preparing your soil for fall planting, cover cropping, or preparing it for the winter. So hop on over there. I'll put a link down below, and I'll see you tomorrow.